Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Thursday, April 22nd. One of you guys messaged me and said, are you going to celebrate 420 again because it's 422? Like it's 420 also, but it's really 422. And I thought that was fucking clever. I'm not, but for any of you guys who want to partake, get after it. It is the 22nd of April, and we are here live at the Roxy to talk about a few different things. I have to let you guys know off the top of the show, I am slammed in the membrane today. Doesn't rhyme like insane in the membrane, but that is how it is because we have some TWG interviews taking place this afternoon. So I can only do a half an hour show. It's going to be a toy like a toiger show where we're going to talk about that Disney Sony merger deal. Merger's the wrong word there. It's just a deal. The mergers have taken place in the past. This is not that. It's just a deal, but it's a big deal. A big Disney Sony deal that I'll be breaking down because I know that just a little bit ago on the show, we were talking about how Sony stuff was going to Netflix. And now we're hearing Sony stuff is going to Disney. And what does that mean? And what does that mean for Spider-Man? And what does that look like? Don't worry. I got y'all. I'm here to break it down. Happy Earth Day, by the way. That is really what today is. We love this planet. We hope to stay on it at the rate we're going. That's not going to happen. Happy Earth Day, y'all. Also, for those of you who are watching it, you already know. But if you're not watching it, get on that. Holy shit, The Circle is fucking with me this season. Netflix has a show. We are in the second season of the American version of it, The Circle. And I am going to talk all about that. If you are watching it, that will be interesting for you. If you are not, don't worry. I'll explain what's going on. And hopefully you'll like the conversation anyway. And then also, I thought this was funny. Hashtag Happy Birthday Amber Heard is trending. And Twitter thinks that that's a positive thing. And not one tweet in the category is saying nice things about it. I had a good chuckle at Twitter just being so disconnected sometimes. It's like, you know how when they, like 50 Cent will be trending and it will say like 50 Cent trending under finance. And it's like somebody at Twitter has no idea who the fuck that is because they put it under finance instead of under music. It's like that. And I will explain what is happening. Plus, questions, comments, concerns from you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Also right here in the super chat. I had a weird night last night. If you watched The World Girls, I was told by the 5,000th person in my life to stop working so much. And it was the worst thing that somebody could have said to me. You would think that if somebody said to you, you need to work harder, that would be bad. But that is not what's bad for me. You need to work less is like the most stressful thing anybody could say to me. And that is what was said to me. And then I called one of my bosses today to be like, this is what this psychic said. And he was like, I have been telling you that for years. You need to work less. And I was like, oh, everybody get off my case. Get off my case. Just frustrating. So that's where we're at with all of that. Let's start with the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. See what it is y'all are talking about in here. Hopefully we're getting some good ones through because as I've told you guys for the last couple months, holy shit. I created a model that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Rox is going to have to get a real people job. What will it be? We just don't know. That doesn't sound like working less, though. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs as the first Streamlabs of the day said, Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankison, Jonathan McNally, Russell Cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. I hope today is the day. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Hello and good afternoon. Roxy Rocks, RJ, Skittles, Chunk, GPS, Misdirection, Silver the Elf, Zilla, Queen Badges, Dimples, Roxratiz, Schmodown, Modi. Well wishes and thanks for hanging out. Love to you, Grammy and Popo. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you and yours. Guys, speaking of Grammy and Popo, today is the day. Today is the day. I called Grammy this morning. I said, you said Thursday of next week, of this week, but last week she said, you promised me we are going to dinner tonight. You've canceled me the last 5 times in a row, and I'm coming there, and we're going to dinner. And she said, no, 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 no. And I said, we're going to dinner. And she said, okay, okay. And I said, what's going on? She said, I'm nervous. And I said, you don't have to be nervous. We've gone to dinner a bajillion times. So come hell or high water, after my intern interviews, I am going and getting Grammy. She says she wants to do a 5:30 dinner. So we are going to do as early of a dinner as possible. I said, okay, Gram, whatever time you want. Please, oh, please let that happen. Please, oh, please let that happen. Oh, I want that so bad. So suppose it's the first time she hasn't canceled on me day of. So we're hoping this works out. Dinner tonight. It will be so great. I'll be so effing happy if I can get her out of the house and to dinner. It will be magical. I will keep you guys posted, obviously, as I keep you posted on all things. Glenn also said RJ and everyone who shows up and gives their support whenever, however they can when it gets tough, even if you're by yourself, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. You are a winner. You are kind. You're smart. You are unique. Showing up for people who need it and want it makes you dope as fuck. Being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers on the internet, is or not what makes you humane or worthy. Your story is important, deserves to be seen and heard. Be most excellent RJ and Rockstars. Cheers to fuck yeah news, laughter, and joy for us all for all of us in of each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years. Let's go. Smets and everyone fighting for today, tomorrow, and more. Smash cancer all day, every day. Thanks, Glenn. Lloyd Nance in the house says, love you, Roxy. Love you, Lloyd. Appreciate you. Thanks for saying something. Y'all are the greatest. All right, getting those Streamlabs, guys, because as I said, we are only doing a half an hour show, and I want to hear it from you guys. Start talking to me about The Circle, Disney and Sony, happy birthday, Amber Heard, or any questions, comments, concerns, whatever is going on in your life. Carl Maxey says, hey, Roxy, my birthday's tomorrow, but I'm partying tonight. Couldn't celebrate last year because of the pandemic. Gonna get messed up. Go, Carl. Get it, Carl. Carl, I hope you have the happiest of birthdays. I hope you party like it's 1969. I hope that you stay safe and stay sane, but that you have a great time and that you get to live it up birthday style as if it's 2 birthdays in a row. Happy birthday to you tomorrow. Appreciate you. And yes, and bunnies for Carl, everyone, for the happy early B-Day present. All right. Let's talk about this Disney situation. And let me know what you guys are thinking, what you're hoping to see, and all of that. So there are a couple different articles that I thought did a really great job breaking this down about what's happening. One of the ones that I appreciated the most was this Forbes article. It's from Scott Mendelson, who obviously does a great job with all of his articles. And it says Sony's post-Netflix deal with Disney is not just about Spider-Man. So we're going to use this as our base for today, but we'll kind of break off and deviate because there's a couple other great ones too. Scott writes, Sony announced another big play in the streaming wars yesterday after signing a deal with Netflix as their official first pay TV window, replacing Starz. Sony has now signed a second pay TV window with Disney. The short version is that upcoming Sony theatrical releases from 2022 to 2026, so next year to 2026, will debut in theaters first, and then after a VOD, DVD, Blu-ray window, will premiere on Netflix. And then after the conclusion of that first pay TV window on Netflix, the films will leave Netflix and then take their forever home on Disney Plus or a related Disney-owned platform, such as a Hulu. So what does that mean? So again, just pausing at that for a second. So we're going to see those movies in theaters as Sony movies. They're always going to be Sony movies, but we see them in theaters. Then they do the DVD situation. You guys know it's usually like a few months or whatever. Wow, that was a loud sneeze. Then, but you guys didn't hear it because I muted your mic. Then we're going to see them go to Netflix, which is what we talked about a few weeks ago. So the first place that you're going to be able to see those on a streaming platform where you already pay for the platform, but you don't pay additional for the actual item is Netflix. Then they're going to be removed from Netflix and they're going to be moved to Disney Plus or something along those lines, a Disney-owned platform to live forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. So that will be how that works. A little complicated, but I think we get it. Scott writes, so what does this mean? Well, first, the MCU Spider-Man movies will eventually join their Disney counterparts on Disney+. Second, Sony may have found its edge in the streaming wars by mostly sitting out of the streaming wars. So talking about that first part, it will be cool if you're a Spider-Man fan like myself. Y'all know I've never disliked a single Spider-Man movie ever. I love Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that just tells you guys how I feel about Spider-Man in general. I love every Spider-Man movie. It'll be cool to be able to go to Disney Plus and just have all the Spider-Man movies there. Because sometimes you just want to have your pick of the litter, and it's so confusing that Sony has it, but then like, you know, Spidey is allowed to be used in some of the Marvel movies, but Sony's the one who has Spider-Man, and you don't have it there, and then Venom's not there, and all, whatever. So the fact that they're all going to live there is really cool, because then we don't have to pay for another service also, and it's all just right there for our rewatching pleasure. But the second part of this is really interesting and a fascinating business move, and who knows if Sony was as aware of this as they were while they were doing it. So again, he writes, Sony may have found its edge in the streaming wars by mostly sitting out of the streaming wars. As much as we discuss the buzzy and media-friendly Netflix originals, it's often third-party content, be it television shows like Criminal Minds or older movies like Jason Statham's Homefront, that notches the biggest general viewership for a given week. And theatrically targeted movies are still a huge deal, even in a streaming era. Consumers may not actually see these movies in theaters, but they prefer to watch films that were previously in theaters, be it a forgotten hit or an ignored in theaters bomb, or intended for theaters over streaming originals. So breaking this down a little further, guys, basically what does well on Netflix are not always just Netflix originals, but it's a lot of the movies and the stuff that they get. So to them, these Sony properties are huge. So obviously they're willing to pay an absorbent amount of money for these properties so that they can be the home for them, which is a smart move for them, because people like to see, it's not just the Spider-Man movies, but Sony projects in general. They go on to say that's why Disney's Mulan was a big deal while Lady and the Tramp was not. As more studios create their own big deal streaming platforms, there will eventually be less available third-party content for the likes of Apple TV, Netflix, and Amazon Prime, because they're making their own shit. And so there's going to be less third-party content because the companies already own it. You know, like, for example, something that's Disney owned is obviously going to go to a Disney platform. Everybody kind of has their own platform because HBO is taking all the Warner Brothers stuff, HBO Max, and everything kind of has its own, Disney has its own home. But Apple TV, Netflix, and Amazon are not based off of one company's productions. They grab things from all different companies, but they'll be less likely able to do that as more companies start their own platforms, such as HBO Max and Disney with Disney Plus and Hulu. All due respect to Crackle, but Sony does not have an A-level streaming platform, rather than spend the billions of dollars to build one and engage in a mad cash for content in the hopes of thriving or even surviving alongside the current glut of services. Sony is making its own catalog, arguably the most valuable game in town, by remaining a free agent. So you think about what they're doing. Instead of making an HBO Max or a Disney Plus, they're like, no, we are huge. Sony's got a ton of shit. We're not going to make our own. We're just going to not only have exclusive rights to one place, but we're going to have exclusive rights for a few months this place, and then for a few years at this place. You know, they're kind of like, they're flirty. Sony is the flirty, you know, Sony is 30, flirty, and thriving. They are like, you can't tie us down, baby boy. We are going around town, which I love. Sony is, once the Disney deal expires in 2026, Sony can either re-up with Disney, because remember I told you guys it was 2022 to 2026, or start a likely bidding war. If 2026 rolls around and most of the existing movies and TV shows go straight to following conventional network, theatrical, VOD, DVD distribution windows, whichever streaming service that studio owns, then any studio offering up a deluge of third-party content potentially becomes quite valuable. So, you know, they will be able to use that as a bargaining chip if in 2026 their deal is up with Disney and Disney wants them to stay there because maybe they've been performing really well on the Disney platforms. Disney is going to have to shell out the motherfucking cash. shell it the fuck out, which I think they probably would because they've got the cash to shell. In a future where all Universal movies go to Peacock, all Warner Brothers go to HBO Max, all Paramount Flicks go to Paramount Plus, and all Disney movies end up on Disney Plus, that's just what we were just talking about, then Sony's rich back catalog makes it a prize catch. This may be enough to justify both theatrically viable franchises, Spider-Man, Jumanji, Bad Boys, Hotel Transylvania, etc., which are huge ones for Sony, and the theatrical bound old school movies, star vehicles, high concept flicks, award season biggies, etc. Those films, think Life, Rough Night, All the Money in the World, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Roman Israel Esquire, are increasingly risky in a theatrical environment where folks only go to the movies for franchise-friendly event films. Some of those films may now be valuable to streaming platforms despite desperate for outsourced content. Because, yeah, a lot of people that I know watch those not in theaters and they want to stay home. And especially after the patterns that we're seeing today, guys, where what we're seeing is people scared to go to the movies after pandemic. Also, people have found a new love for staying home and watching shit. Now, maybe they will still be going and maybe they want to see some of the smaller movies, but really it's the big tentpole ones that are driving people to the theaters. And so where are the other ones going to live once they're out of theaters, which is where a lot of people will watch them? Are increasingly risky. Some of those films may now be valuable to streaming platforms desperate for outsourced content. As with everything in the streaming wars era, this gets a big wait and see, but as the streamers realize they need more than just buzzy originals, and that streaming consumers are as likely, if not more so, to binge an old favorite television show or long forgotten studio programmer as consume your latest streaming obsession. The studios have large libraries which aren't permanently beholden to a studio-specific streaming platform, may have the proverbial golden ticket. So Sony might just be a really, really big ticket item for either Disney Plus or once that expires for wherever it is that they want to go. And that's great for them. And it's great for us too. And here's why. I don't want to pay for another fucking streaming service. I do not want to pay. I don't even have Paramount Plus yet, but I've got Apple and I've got Disney and I've got Netflix and I've got HBO, and it's fucking expensive. And I don't want Sony Sluss. Sony, what would Sony's be called? Sony here. Sony Now. Sony, whatever it would be called. I don't fucking want it. By the way, leave comments for what you think Sony's streaming service should be called if they ever made one. I don't want to pay for another one. I want to watch it on Disney Plus. I want to watch it on Netflix. I already have those motherfuckers. So I just don't want another one. So this is good for them. This is good for us. This is exciting news all around. I'll keep continuing with the article, but I want to check in with you guys first. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, also in the super chat. What are you guys thinking about this merger? How are you feeling about this deal? What is going on with my people? Katie the Good Witch says, it's my birthday. Yes, Katie, it's my birthday. Have a few days off, which is amazing. Also, like you, I'm a skeptic when it comes to tarot/astrology, etc. But Tiffany on the World Girls last night was great, and my reading was super cool and helpful. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Katie, you're the best, and I'm glad that reading was helpful for you. Morse code Z, happy birthday, by the way, babe. Morse code Z says, late paycheck, so some catch-up help. Oh, thanks, Morse code. I love that support, and you're the best. Also, catching up because of surprise office meeting, crossing fingers about dinner with Grammy. I know, me too. Also, hoping the Disney-Sony deal is the beginning of something more long-term for Marvelverse. Yeah, so that the questions kind of are, as they get more in bed with each other, as they're more in cahoots with each other, what does that end up looking for the Marvelverse and Spider-Man, which is always just seemingly up in the air, no matter how many deals or mergers or whatever take place. So at least for now, what we know this means is that we'll be able to see Spider-Man on Disney Plus, which is cool, which is a step in the right direction, and we appreciate that. What are you guys thinking? Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. Let me know. Making our way through the rest of this article. Scott goes on to say, without getting into winners and losers, since I imagine consolidation will create a handful of streaming platforms to which pretty much everyone will subscribe, Sony's deal creates a potential secondary option for success. Sony may just end up a winner in the streaming wars by virtue of not participating in the streaming wars. Thank you, Scott Mendelson, for this awesome article. I agree with all of that. I think what they're doing is smart. Who knows if that's what they were doing originally, but hey, it definitely looks like it's going to pay off for them, and it's going to have big paydays from both Netflix and Disney, and that is pretty cool from my perspective. You guys let me know what you're thinking as we move on to talk about The Circle. Y'all, if you're not watching The Circle, if you've never heard of The Circle, if you didn't watch season 1 of The Circle, even though I talked about it on this show, you are living under a rock. The show is so strange. It is so bizarre. It is on Netflix, speaking of streaming services, and it has me questioning just like the catfish of life. I'm questioning all of you guys at home. Which one of you is who you say you are? Just kidding. Y'all are who you say you are. The Circle, it says on IMDb, players start off isolated in an apartment and with their online interactions as their only means of any communication, the players use a social media platform called The Circle. So we're watching people, they're in their own apartments and they're trying to win $100,000 by staying in The Circle in their own apartments as long as they possibly can. And they get to talk to all the other players that are in their own apartments. By their own apartments, I don't mean their apartments at home. They're in like a big hotel and they get their own room in the apartments in the big building. But they're never allowed to see each other. They're only like instant messaging basically, or text messaging through The Circle. And this game is effing wild. As we're watching it, like people are talking to catfish and they're pouring their hearts out. They're like, I was raised by a single dad and things made me really dumb and I'm going through this thing. And they're really talking to like a young woman who's pretending to be a single dad, but it's not her. Somebody this season pretends to be Lance Bass, like straight up Lance Bass, NSYNC Lance Bass. Somebody's pretending to be Lance Bass. It's nuts. And the way that Netflix is dropping this is driving me insane because you guys know we're used to on Netflix, they drop everything all at once. But what Netflix is doing with this show is they're dropping 4 episodes a week. So 4, and then a week later, 4 more. And I'm binging through the 4 the day they're dropping it. And it's making it so difficult because it dropped yesterday, 4 more episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I don't get the other ones until the 28th because I watched them too quickly. The show is wild, and I feel really bad for people, but also they're doing it for money, and it is a game. And I feel bad for the catfish because they're sitting there lying. And one of the catfish last night was really going effing insane. Who's watching this show? Send bunnies if you're watching The Circle. I also want to know from you guys, would you ever go on The Circle? And if you did go on The Circle, would you play yourself or would you play a catfish? I think that I would rather not win $100,000 than win it by being a catfish. Who knows if that's true because it's still a game and I'm broke. But to go on and to be sitting there for and having to, Cena says they made a show based on quarantining. This is actually prior to quarantine happened. The first season was over a year ago, before anything quarantine. But to go on a show and to pretend to be somebody else and to have to keep that up day in and day out. Oh, God. For real catfish of the world, how the fuck do you guys do it? I would not be able to look in the mirror. I would not be able to breathe or live with myself. Catfish, wow. I don't know how you can try to like connect with people and relate to people and pretend you're somebody else. These people have backstories and images that aren't theirs they're using. It's so deceiving and crazy. It would drive me nuts. I would have panic attacks every day. I could not effing do it. The show is wild. And it was a slower start this season than last season, but it is good. And you don't have to watch last season to watch this season. Just get on it. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Morse Code Z says, also, I saw Godzilla vs. Kong yesterday in an AMC IMAX because fully vaxxed and no other option. Hell yeah, Morse Code. 3 people in the giant theater at 5 p.m. used earbuds as protection. That movie is loud. Oh my God, you had to put in earbuds as protection because it was so loud? That's wild, Morse Code. Damn. That's crazy. Helsing says, Roxy, you can do it. You're an actress. Yeah, but I wouldn't feel like an actress. When you're acting, people know you're acting. The other thing is just called lying. You're not acting, you're lying. Even though it's part of a show. Ugh. People who are able to do that well. And like one of these women is on there pretending to be this guy who's the single dad and all this stuff. When she goes home to her husband, if he watches the show, I would be like, you're too good of a liar. That was fucking stressful to watch. She's pretending to be him. But like, once you see how well somebody can lie consistently and just build up a whole story, I don't know. I happen to be an excellent liar too because I am a great actress, but I never ever do it because that shit is creepy and scary. Ugh. And if you're acting, there's a mutual agreement between you and the audience. I'm pretending to be this character. Not when they think that it would be like calling it a docu-series when it's not a docu-series. It's acting. Ugh. Ugh. So anyway, just want to talk about the circle a little bit. And then before we get out of here, by the way, guys, get in those questions, comments, concerns. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. And thank you to the 100 plus of you guys who are watching this live. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. Leave a comment after the fact. Apple Podcasts, leave a review, rate, comment, subscribe. Y'all already know the deal. We're closing out. Twitter does stupid ass shit sometimes. And sometimes they don't know what they're doing. And I talked about this a little bit earlier, but at number 10 today, Amber Heard is trending, or Happy Birthday Amber Heard is trending. And I want you guys to see how Twitter writes this. Okay. So Twitter, very innocently, probably the person writing this shit or who organizes this has no idea what's going on with the Amber Heard case. Sometimes they're just super fucking out of touch. And so they see everybody tweeting happy birthday, Amber Heard. So that this is what they put up. Number 10, entertainment trending. Happy birthday, Amber Heard. Fans wish actor Amber Heard a happy birthday. Okay. So that's what Twitter's interpretation of what that hashtag is. It's just a bunch of fans wishing Amber Heard a happy birthday. That's what that is. If you guys go and look at this hashtag, I mean, I'll show you guys the first thing that pops up. Both these first two things are fucking so not that. It's just so not what it is. And like Amber Heard probably woke up, looked at this and was like, oh my God, is the internet saying nice things about me today? They never say nice things about me, probably because of everything that's happened, but they never say nice things about me. And then she clicks on it because it's like, happy birthday, Amber Heard. These are, if you guys can't read this, don't worry, I will read it to you. This is a tweet from @Jansen Snuff, who says, hashtag happy birthday, Amber Heard. So @Real Amber Heard, for your birthday, I got you a cake and a cute outfit. And the cake are cupcakes of just like little spiral shits and toilet paper. And the outfit is a prison outfit. And Twitter saying that is a fan wishing Amber Heard a happy birthday. Underneath that, there's Amber seeing the hashtag Amber, happy birthday Amber Heard, versus when she sees the tweets. And obviously it's somebody who's not excited about what's going down here. Twitter just misses the mark all the time. And I find it incredibly funny. Like, I don't think Twitter has any idea. Maybe they do, and they are the best trolls of us all. But my interpretation is that they see a hashtag trending and they're like, oh, a bunch of people wishing Amber Heard happy birthday. Let's classify that as fans wish actor Amber Heard happy birthday. And then it's just so not what it is. I mean, I didn't see a single tweet in all of the tweets I was looking at that were actually wishing Amber Heard a happy birthday, which makes me think the world and the internet have really turned on her. And I'm not here commenting right now on for good reason or bad reason. We've had so many conversations about the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp stuff. But I don't know. How do you not look at that as DC and think like this is going to be a problem for our film? This is going to be a fucking problem. What do you guys think of this hashtag? What do you guys think about Amber Heard and continuing on in the movies that she's in, like Aquaman? Streamlabs in, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Hi, I'm Will in the Streamlabs says, my wife got me watching The Circle with her hooked. Yes, Will. We both gasped at the twist at the end of the 8th episode last night. I'm not normally into reality shows, but I love the strategy and mind games involved in the show. Catfishing is a risky strategy. No, it's really risky. And I feel like you don't have to do it. Like Chloe's doing so well by not catfishing. You know, some people were really, but then all the other people not catfishing, you know, mad people got eliminated. So yeah, I'm excited for the twist at the end as well. I don't want to tell the people what it is in case they want to watch, but I'm also a little nervous about it because it's so not what those people signed up for. And like, are they going to be able to do it? Or is it just going to be bizarro? Y'all let me know. We are getting out of here. As I told you guys, we're going to do a tight half-hour show. So get in any last-minute questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer in the Streamlabs, in the super chat. Would love to hear from you guys. Any support means the absolute world to me. As I've told you guys, we light as a motherfucker these days. Well, some things are light like balloons that fly away and are just this incredible thing. And some things are light like when you mean to put a sandbag on a light, but the sandbag slips off and the entire light comes down and crashes. And this is one of those times. If y'all know what I mean. I'm really good at the metaphors, the analogies, just really, really good at them. Susie East did in here. Mark Johnson. I know. I can't get enough. Can't get enough of Mark Johnson. Just can't get enough of Mark Johnson. That's the truth. All right. But I guess you guys can get enough of me. Whatever that transition is. Like I said, we're getting out of here. So much love to all of you guys at home. In terms of tomorrow, I am live on Only Stupid Answers in the morning. So make sure you check out OSA. We're going to be talking more about the Sony Disney deal. I would love to get DJ's thoughts on that. Also, a little bit of Oscars talk, as that is coming up on Sunday. Speaking of which, on Sunday night, the World Girls are going to be doing a whole Oscar stream breakdown. It's going to be less about the actual Oscars, the actual event, and more about who we think should have won or the movies that we liked or didn't like, and less about the actual award show, because Dee and Steph, I don't think, are really into award shows like I am. I love fucking award shows. Wish me luck tonight. Hopefully I see Grammy. Fingers crossed on that. Wish me luck with the intern interviews. And then I'll also be back here live at the Roxy tomorrow and Sunday. I think not Saturday. I also have a friend from out of town who's coming in that I'm very excited to see. So places to go, people to see, things going on, but always here with the rock stars. You guys are incredible. I love you a lot. Stay safe, stay sane, check on your internet, put down your toilet seat. We don't want those flumes. Make sure that you make your bed if you haven't already, although you should have. Don't trend with the Holocaust. That's a big one. Brett, Miles, Jonathan, rest of the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them, for killing Breonna Taylor. And other than that, oh, good. I think I just saw a big Streamlabs come through. Really fucking needed it. Mark Jason Ali for the win. Appreciate you, Mark, who said support for dinner. All the best. Oh, good, Mark. Now I can take her to dinner. Yes. You're the best. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me live. And I will see you tomorrow live at the Roxy.